Well, welcome back to Unfiltered Unspoken Podcast, where we're going to continue to share life experiences. I'm gonna start shouting this out this year this season because we didn't do it last season, maybe a couple, but we have another exclusive today. We're gonna welcome up Cecelia Sands, and she is going to share a testimony with you. Cece, you
Yes,
ready? Okay,
I'm
and
ready.
after you finish, Sid is going to kick off the first question.
Okay. My name is CeCe, Cecelia Sands. I'm dealing with my childhood trauma. My mom was shot and killed when I was 2 years old, and I was in a carriage with her. Um, I am dealing with the trauma, trying to heal through this. I have, it's eight of us, four brothers and four sisters. Uh, and it's a process. It's a serious process that I have dealt with having things taken away from me, and I'm trying to heal from that.
Well, we are grateful to have you on to share your life experience. So we're going to go deep dive a little bit and, start at the beginning like we always do. So what was the situation, surrounding your mother's murder, and, how did that all come about, and what was kind of the fallout of that, once it happened?
My mom was shot outside in Pittsburgh by a person I don't know. They said it was a family friend, but it was a mistake. He was trying to shoot someone else and just happened to shoot my mom. My twin brother and I were in the carriage when this happened, and my older brother and sisters have told me the process of what has happened, but I never wanted to deal with it or hear about it.
Mm. So I'm assuming that this caused some challenges for you through your childhood. Can you start eight, total of eight of you total losing your mom to a tragic event? Was there a separation within the siblings?
There was a separation. We were left with my father, who I never knew. I was little at that time. So my father had us, then we were taken to social services because he was a drunk. And then my mom, now that I have, who is my cousin, my mom's real, which is my real mother's cousin, took my twin brother and I. My grandmother took my other sister, Debbie, and Kevin. And then my aunt took two, um, Calvin and Bucky. And then my other aunt took uh, Paula and Gail. So we were all separated, but we were still within the same family.
That's at least a blessing, that you weren't hugely separated and in the midst of all of that. Um, what has been the, I guess, kind of scenario, in the storyline of that day? You know, from hearing the stories and what your family tells you. What were the kind of what was the play by play of that day?
The play was my older sister, Debbie, told me what had happened as far as my mom being shot. I would always shy away because I didn't feel like dealing with that situation at that time because I didn't know my real mother. So I didn't want to hear it. And my other brothers and sisters would sit there and try to do the same, but I would walk away. I was told that she was shot, passed in the ambulance while we were going to the hospital with her. There were so many lies that were told to me that I have issues with it. And I really didn't know the truth from my sisters or brothers until my real mom, my mom that I have now, who is the only mom that I've known, sat me down and talked to me and told me what had happened.
Mm. So, with all the issues and the confusion going on, let's start in childhood. How did that affect you as a child growing up?
It affected me as a child growing up, as I would always think about where I would be if my mom had not taken me. Would I be in the gutter? Would I have had 4 or 5 kids? I have a good education. Um, it's just a trauma of something being taken away from me that I have always thought about. So I have an issue now with things being taken from me.
And in what ways are you learning that that's your, biggest issue to date?
I'm in therapy. I go to therapy and I sit and I talk about the problems that I feel. Today, I feel like if someone is taken from me, then it takes me right back to where my mom was taken from me. Um, per se, my partner was taken from me, or my godson was taken from me, which happened, and I just have big issues with things being taken from me. Period.
So, how does that play in how you deal with people, or your connection with people, or your closeness with people?
I am an outgoing person. My closeness with people is I care for that person. I think I'm up under them too much and I have to back up because I tend to cling to my friends or my partner that I have because I don't want that separation that could happen.
And then did it, I guess, growing up, through adolescence, early adulthood, obviously you came out in it looks like you took a proper route. But what were, some struggles that you did have while kind of going through the motions, getting older, but kind of becoming your own woman?
Problem with my sister Debbie, and I have a problem with my brother Calvin because they seem to have issues with me having the last name that I have and me having the education that I have. And I don't think that they should be feeling like that. They feel like that I'm the golden child because they're not with my mom that I have now. And they don't like me not keeping my last name from my mom had when she was killed. I have been adopted, so I've taken another name, and that's Sands.
So they give you issues because you had a more privileged life than them. So what are some of the confusions that y'all are going through? Like it's not your fault that you were placed with your adopted mom. Whom's your aunt? Is your aunt correct?
Who is my yes,
So your it's mommy. That's your mom. She
yes,
raised you.
yes,
But they have a issue with the way that you were raised and the way that they weren't raised.
correct. And I don't know why they have an issue because they could get what exactly what I have. Just go get it. I've been to college. I've graduated from high school, and I am an outgoing person, so I go get what I want. But they just seem to have issues because I don't want to deal with the situation of my mother being killed and dealing with that with them. I don't think it's necessary when I didn't know my real mother. But my mom that I have now is who's important to me. And
And
I do not
oh,
deal with the disrespect that they have for my mother now.
understood. Now you did say that you and your twin, were adopted by your adopted mother. Um, do they have issues with him as well? Did he kind of take the same route as you? How did that work itself out?
My twin brother is closer to my sister and my brothers, but he has taken the route that I have taken now since they've started in with him within the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So does this cause you to have issues within your relationships as I mean all the confusion, losing your mom, the attachments, does this cause you to have issues within your relationships?
Yes, it does because I need to have that closeness in my relationships. I just I cling to whoever is around me and who I'm dealing with in my relationships because I don't want that to be taken from me. I've had my mom taken from me. I've had two of my godsons taken from me who were in a house fire. So I've had friends that have died that were taken from me. So I have issues with this.
Now, you did say the kind of bulk of the issues between you and your siblings is kind of due to the fact that you don't want to rehash things about what you didn't have too much knowledge about. Um, if you were to ever look at it at an aspect as just bonding on a similar incident, or at least just helping them through their healing, are there any other kind of roadblocks for you? Is it a matter of feeling like you're going to disrespect the kind of the memory of your adoptive mother, or is it just too hurtful to talk about? Where does that kind of trigger you, where you draw your boundary, like this is just something I don't want to do?
Um, it triggers me that I just don't want to deal with it. I have sat down within the last 5 years and actually listened to what my sisters and brothers have had to say, and I've left it at that because I don't want to deal with it. It is cut off because it's just too much disrespect and too many lies. So I would really never know what happened until my mom really told me what has happened. And I just prefer just not to deal with it and move on with my life. It's
Okay.
just not necessary.
So how's your relationship with your mom? Like your mom, how is y'all relationship and the dynamics of it, and how I guess the relationship with y'all has helped you. So how has it helped you overcome some trials and tribulations?
My mom is my rock. Uh, she's always there for me, always there to talk to me if I need to talk to her. Our relationship is awesome. I wouldn't ask for a better mother in my life. I have no problems with my mom at all. Love her dearly. And this is the only mom I've known.
Absolutely. So after after that, kind of getting settled in your new, way of life with your new mother and new family, in a sense. Um, what was kind of the next step? You said, that it's a matter of continually losing people in your life. So what was the next, kind of pivotal moment, in your life that kind of added to your trauma here?
losing my two godsons to a house fire. I took the one, Tyrese, to Disney World, came back, went to work. Um, Tyrese and Mikhail were in the house. I woke up at 4 in the morning and they were in the house fire, and the smoke inhalation killed them. So that was heartbreaking when I had to wake up to that on the news.
So you actually, no one called you. You actually woke up, seen it on the news, and you knew it was your godsons.
I knew it because I connected. I woke up at 4 a.m. I saw the house in Park Heights on the television. I saw the trucks that were outside, and I knew it was the house. I made a phone call. No one answered that house. I called the other house that they owned, and they told me to meet them at university. And I
Mm,
asked where my two godsons were, and they would not tell me. And that was tragic for me because they waited till I got to the hospital so I could pull the plug.
Did you, would you have preferred it that way? Did you find peace in being able to do that?
I found peace and able to do that because I could see them both. Mikhail was already gone, but Tyrese was still on the um, respirator, and they were waiting till I got there, and it was a peace of mind because I had just had him for a whole week, and for this to happen just blew my mind. And I knew something was going to happen because when I took him home, he just stood outside and cried. And I went around the block and came back and gave him a hug and said, "I'll see you Monday, but I have to go to work." And when I woke up, this had happened.
jeez. How did
He was
that
six,
meant sex? And how
six and
was?
two, 6 years old
Hmm.
and 2 years old. Tyrese
So
was
how did
6
that?
and Mikhail was 2.
So how did that mentally affect you moving forward? Because I could only imagine the pain that you were going through.
It was a lot. I had to go to therapy for that. I took off work for a while because I couldn't handle it. They were my hearts, and I'm adamant on keeping who I have in my circle close to me.
Now, was this, purely like accidental, or were they living in a situation?
No, it was accidental. It started in the wall, electrical fire, but couldn't get to them. There were bars on the windows, and the fire department couldn't get them off.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. Jeez. Sorry. That's going through
Well,
traumatic stuff like that it's tough. Um,
yeah.
how are you doing now? After that, or dealing, I don't know the emotional impact of it, because it affects us different when it doesn't happen to us, but emotionally, how long ago was that, and how is it emotionally impacting you now till today?
This has been a good 20 years, 22 years. It still affects me like it was yesterday because I think about them every day. I still wish they were here. Um, it's an emotional roller coaster that I constantly go through thinking about them. Because had I not taken him to that house that day, he would be here now. So I kind of blame myself for that, but it's something I deal with every day.
Absolutely, completely understood. So moving on after that, were you at least able to find your bearings, or find maybe some peace moment of happiness between that and the next tragedy, or had things kind of, was it just kind of like a downward slope, and more things continued to happen? How was kind of the just the kind of the moments after that happened? How was navigating through that?
It was rough, but through therapy and trying to heal and being able to talk about it, it helped me. And I just take it day by day. Some days I sit and I just cry, but I know I have to keep going. Um, and I know where they are. So it's an emotional roller coaster, like I said, but I keep myself moving, and it's I will never forget it. Um, I just try to deal with it. There are days when I just go to the graveyard and I just sit there, and I take little toys and sit them on the gravesite because I bury both of them together on top of each other. But you just try to take it day by day.
Hmm. May God rest their souls. God be with them, and they were blessed to have such a godmother like you that cared so much and treated them just like they were your own. So that's a blessing, and I know it's just you have all those memories, those good memories in your heart. Um, I'm going to shift a little bit because I know this is touchy. I can feel it. God bless you there and the continued healing from the peace of them. Um, with the with going through losing folks or folks that you love and losing them, how does that carry into your relationships? I guess there's a fear of losing folks. So how does that carry into your relationships?
I just, like I said, I cling to whoever I'm in a relationship with, and I try to make it into a positive vibe so that I'm not overwhelming that person. And I am dealing with the trauma of things being taken from me, but I'm learning how to process this situation.
Is there like a particular event or scenario that has come about based on this trauma? Whether you might have clung too hard on somebody and pushed them away, or anything really. Have you specifically correlated a life event to the trauma that you have been through your entire life?
My last relationship, I think I pushed my partner away, clinging too close and always wanting to be up under them. They knew the situation that happened, but um, I didn't make it relevant to us being together. So I do believe that I did push her away. I need to learn how to try to deal with the situation and not cling so closely and be able to go and hang with other people and realize that things can be taken from you, but you just have to try and trust.
And a part of pushing her away, what do you feel as though are things that pushed your partner away? And also, do you feel as though there are things that your partner did to you to make you feel this way?
I think I just stayed up under her and at her house for a while. And I believe that they wanted some separation and me to go to my house. I have my own place, but I enjoy being around people and having that relationship. There are some things that she did do to me that would remind me of the situations of my mom being taken, her having attitudes at different times with me because I was there. Per se, you don't have anywhere to go? Well, I prefer to just sit here. I'm tired, but I will take that I pushed them away.
That's a self awareness, and we all go through it, so that's totally normal. Now, this was not the spouse that you lost, correct? This was
No.
okay. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Which
The spouse that you lost, how did that all come about?
spouse? It's
Did you say that you lost a partner, or I'm sorry, am I
oh
mistaken?
yes, not to death, but just as far as me clinging too close and
Got it.
pushing them away. Not as far as death.
Okay. All right. Now, um, with that being said, what were the ways that maybe you express not getting your way, or somebody having that opposition to you wanting to be around them, or maybe trying to push you away, and what kind of ways do you express your frustration? Is it does it make you angry enough that you're violent, or do you raise your voice? What I guess what kind of actual things were you doing to push her away that that it was just like enough, I'm done?
I don't get violent at all. I may raise my voice at different times, but to the point that it's respectful. But I think that when we would sit and talk about me being up under her, she really wanted that space and just did not want me around at that point. And maybe could have been interested in other people. So maybe I might have been blocking that by just staying there for a little while, but it's okay. I've learned and I've moved on. And you learn through this process.
Hmm. Do you feel as though this is a pattern through your relationships? Is um, clinginess, not wanting to give space?
I believe with this last relationship and the relationship I had before is a little clinginess and not wanting to not be around them. You can have all the space you want, but I prefer to go with you. But this relationship I'm thinking about entering now, I've learned how to turn things around and deal with this clinginess. And with the therapy that I'm in and trying to heal, I back up a little bit now and allow that space because I realize I need some space also. And I don't need to just be up under someone all the time, 24/7. CeCe needs space to think about things that are going on, to just evaluate myself.
I agree. I agree. Now, were there kind of moving forward after the tragedy of losing your godsons? Were there any, more significant pivotal points in your life, that kind of put you on the trajectory where you are now?
Um, just dealing with that and learning that you can't determine when God is ready to take someone. You just have to allow that to happen and pray about it and pray that you are able to deal with that situation that's going on and keep on moving forward, because you can't stop because someone is gone.
Hmm. I was going to ask, going through these experiences, it usually creates a weakness within us when dealing with other people. Do you think going through your traumas created some flaws and weaknesses that you didn't want to deal with, and they have hurted you through your life experiences?
Um, I believe dealing with my sisters and my brothers, some of them, uh, it has hurt me in that situation, that it has given me trauma, because I love my sisters and brothers, but I just don't want to deal with that trauma as far as what happened back then. And um, it has affected me in several ways, but again, I just try to keep on moving forward.
So, can you tell us some of those ways? Are you comfortable with sharing some of the ways it's affected you?
Sure. I let me see. I would sit in my room and just think about what has happened. I tend to shy away from big crowds, and wanting to talk about certain situations in my life. I have dealt with going to school and sitting and just thinking about what my life could have been and where I'm at today, and how fortunate I am to be where I am today, and allow God to keep me moving forward. I go to the water all the time to get answers and just meditate to just help me deal with certain situations.
And is that something, or a technique you discovered on your own, or was it suggested, in therapy? How does, for our viewers, how does one kind of find the right steps to finding, what is their peace?
You have to dig down in your soul to find out what your peace is. My peace is my serenity is the water. I'm a swimmer, so as long as I go sit at the water, any ocean, I get answers to what I need, and I calm down, and I can deal with any situation that arises at that time. I suggest that they just sit down and dig down deep in their soul to figure out what what they would consider helping them in that situation, uh, to help them. That's what I did. I would go to the water and just sit and be like, God, I need you to help me figure this out. And I would dig deep down in my soul. Why are you doing this, CeCe? What made you come to this conclusion? What caused that?
Mm. You seem so nice to me, Cece, that a piece of me is like people take advantage of you. Could be wrong, but it's like something is shouting out to me. It's some hurt there, taking advantage of. Um, you just seem like such a giving person.
I am a given person, and a lot of people have taken advantage of me, and I need to learn how to stop. I feel like I'm buying my partner or people that are around me, other than the people that are very close to me. I don't have to buy them, but to be up under me and to be a friend, it seems like I always have to buy something for them. I am a very outgiving person, and I will give my last. And all my life, I have just felt like I have been used, because it's can you from me. And I'm tired of that. And I refuse to keep on doing it. So again, I go back and have to deal with different situations and dig deep down in my soul to say, you have to stop. The the word is no.
Do you feel like that's a pattern in all your relationships? Is you buying people? Give me, give me, give me.
Yes, it has been. It has been. And I just have to stop. I Every relationship I have had and have been in, I've had to just buy. Some of them have bought for me. I'm not going to say they didn't, and I've enjoyed that, but that's a hard thing for me to do. I've My mom instilled in me to work. I will work 3 or 4 jobs to make ends meet if that's necessary. But I make sure my partner, whoever I'm dealing with, is taken care of 100%. But I need to back up.
And that's why I was pushing that, because I see you taking accountability. So I'm trying to see that piece of what is putting you in that uh position in your relationship. So it's a twofold. You're up under people, but then they're taking advantage of you. And I don't know if that's a piece that's connecting you, is that because you're doing so much for them, you feel obligated, like you need to be up under them because you've done so much. And I could be wrong, but
You're right. You are right. You're right. And I feel like I'm obligated to buy them whatever they want. And I shouldn't feel like that. I've just always done that. If they ask, I go get it. And I I need to stop. But I feel like that's my security blanket also, because I am a giving person. And as long as I'm giving to them, they're staying. When I stop giving, then they leave. So I have to learn how to give myself. How I treat my partner or another person, I have to learn how to treat me. I come first now.
Absolutely. It's great introspection. Um, with everything that we've discussed, or the ways that, everything that's happened to you has affected your life here, what would be the biggest negative impact of everything that's happened and the biggest positive impact, in your opinion, on with everything that's happened?
The biggest negative impact would be the loss, and me not wanting to deal with that situation. And now I'm learning to deal with it. And I have 7 other God kids, so I cling to them and I make sure they are good. The positive is I am learning me, learning how to take care of me, and learning how to say no to different situations, which I never used to do. And no is in my vocabulary now. It's a big thing for me. Um, I will always do for people, but I have to learn how to back up and not always give my all.
Understood. Understood. So I read in the beginning, I put an anxiety piece because there's a piece where you catch anxiety a lot. So I was going to ask, how is your anxiety and what comes out of when you get in then that anxiety rage? What pulls from the anxiety?
Um, my anxiety is terrible. People treating me a certain kind of way without respect when I'm respecting them. It pulls so bad that I get I go into a claustrophobic situation that I can't be closed in. And I need to have a way out at all times.
Understood. For sure, understood. That's great that you can kind of spell it out. You can spell out everything, surrounding the situation now. You know what's what. A lot of people haven't made it there, so that's a beautiful thing to hear for sure. Um, what um, what do you feel as what might be something that you don't have a handle on yet, or that you're still struggling with?
I'm struggling with going to my real mom's grave site. I was in Pittsburgh for in July for my senior Olympics, and I walked downtown Pittsburgh for 3 hours by myself and wondered, well, where did this happen? And I can't pinpoint where it happened, or if that bar would just happen to still be on that corner in that area. But I struggle to go see her gravesite, and I'm going to go sooner or later. But that's a hard situation for me.
Have you ever been to her gravesite?
No, I refuse to go.
Mm. You might have a sense of relief if you do go.
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
Um.
Um, and I
Uh.
believe I need to go. I do.
Was the person that took your mom's life? Did they ever serve jail time, or did anything ever happen to them?
They were locked up, as far as I know, and served, I think, 5 years or something like that. I'm not really sure on all of that. Like I said, I didn't want to hear any more about it, but I do know they know who did it, and it was a close friend of hers. And they were locked up and did serve some time. That's what was told to me. But they said it was a mistake.
Do you believe it was a mistake?
I don't really know. I don't know what to think about that because it was told to me that person was trying to shoot someone else, and she just happened to walk across.
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't know. There's really nothing you have to base that off of to even wonder what
Mm-mm.
might have went down. So that's completely understood for sure. Um, what what do you think need to be the next steps to kind of rekindle, the relationship with your siblings, or is that even something that's in the game plan, anything that's suggested, or have you even been advised to do that in therapy? Will that mess up your healing, or get you closer to it? Actually,
I have my sister Debbie and my sister and my brother Calvin. I have cut off They are out of my life, and I refuse to even allow the mess that they have caused me to come around me. My other brothers and sisters are fine. I've lost a brother a year ago, one of my oldest brothers, and he's gone, bless his soul. He lived in Pittsburgh, but I won't allow Debbie or Kevin back in my life at all.
They must have pissed you off because you done called them out.
I don't care. Yes, I called them out, and I meant that. And they will not disrespect my mother, and I do not allow that. And that's the biggest part. They keep on disrespecting her, and it's not going to happen. So
And you supposed to
for
stand up for
me,
your mother.
that's my mom, and that's the only one I
Hmm.
know, and I won't allow it anyone to disrespect my mother. And they know it. And if they don't know it, they'll hear this and understand that I mean what I say. As far as those two, I will not deal with it. So they are cut off, and that's the end of that with them. They've
Hmm.
disrespected me, they've disrespected my mother, and there's nothing else to be said about those two. It-
So we gonna skip them too then.
okay.
Sorry, y'all cut off.
You know,
I
my brother had issues with me when my mom had uh, uh, a Zoom uh, the day before Christmas. He's bringing up my last name and stuff, so it's irrelevant.
Your last name is Sands, and that's your
Yes, ma'am,
adopted
it is.
name, and
Yes.
as it should be. So I had a question. Out of all your relationships and giving, what was the best relationship you had, and what was the worst relationship you had from giving? Because sometimes I know the feeling of just giving, 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 and not giving back, and people taking advantage of us. And sometimes there's a good and a bad that comes with that.
My worst relationship was someone I was involved with in Florida, and I allowed them to take full advantage of me by me giving, and I was in a violent fight, and I allowed them to hit me, and I not hit them back because I promised her kids that I wouldn't fight on her because I don't do that. So that was my worst. Um, my I can't say about my best relationship because I haven't found it.
Keep it 100. Keep it
I
real.
haven't
You
found it.
haven't found it.
No. So, and I'm looking for it. It's close, and God willing, it'll be happening soon. So,
It will. It will. Demetria, do you want to go into your kind of wrap up question first?
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you tell the audience? I know. First, I want to ask you, what is your mental state of mind now? How are you? How are Cece? What's your mate? Are you still going through this healing? It's a lot to go through. Like, what is your mental state of mind right now?
I'm good. I've never been better because this is off my chest. Um,
Good.
I am in my healing process still. I like to shout out the Good Fight because they are helping me heal also.
Thank
And
you.
sure, that's where I started healing, and I love it. I you 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 are one in a million to help people.
Thank you.
And sure. And I am proud of myself because I can admit my faults and I'm moving forward from what has happened in my life and just taking it day by day and dealing with the blessings that are coming my way now because they are flowing. And I've never had that in my life. And happy, just happy. I'm ecstatic. And I
That's
will
what healing
stay in
will
my
do.
process of healing.
You're
So,
gonna bring tears to my eyes, like on this. Thank you for being a testimony to us. I just want to say
sure.
that as well. Um, can you give the audience just advice? Because I know you're still going through your healing journey. It's a long way to go. Um, the good fight has been a contribution to your journey. We're thankful for that. Thank you for believing in us. Um, can you give the audience just maybe two things on things that you're doing to help you start your journey to healing to help them?
Um, my biggest part of my healing is my Bible study class. And I have been in Bible study for 13 years. Um, and that is a class that deals with every situation that is going on. It's an all women's class. And if you can get yourself into a class that you can speak out and not feel like you can't get anything off your chest, then that's the whole healing process right there, being able to speak up and speak out. And they are my number one fans because I can say anything in my class and they have my back, as you do, as my friends, my circle have my back. So if you can get yourself around positive people, then you will start your healing process. Remove yourself from the people who are not willing to help you.
It's great words to live
So,
by, for sure. Now we normally this would be our shameless plug segment, but you are just on as a guest, letting us, telling us, sharing your life experience with us. You're not really, pushing too much anything other than that. But are there any particular maybe foundations or resources, anything in particular you would like to share with the audience that has helped you? Books, anything that you can put on the table and just that have helped you with your healing journey that you can share with the viewers?
go to the good fight. They are a healing process, and you can always speak and talk to the both of you about a healing process and get it off your chest. I don't have any books that I've read. I am on the journey right now of reading Messy People. So that is helping me through my process and dealing with the messy people that have been in my life that I have removed. And get yourself in a home based church that will help you through your process.
And really quick before we go, you're an Olympic, like you're on the wall, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Like,
Yes, ma'am. I am in Pittsburgh on the wall. My basketball team went in July, and we played. We placed sixth out of 2016. So I am a real Olympian,
look at
senior
that,
Olympics,
look at that, look at that.
basketball.
Love it. I love
It's
it.
the
So you
DC
have
Ladies at
some.
Large.
Okay, you said DC Ladies at Large.
Correct. The
Do you have a
basketball team I play
website or
for.
anything? Do you have a website or anything?
We do. If you go under the DC Ladies at Large I think it's at gmail.com.
That's the
Even
email.
on email or
Hmm.
Facebook, DC Ladies at Large. You can go under that.
Okay. So we get to see some you shooting, or you got photos and some videos of you, CC.
It's a lot of videos of all of us playing. Yes,
Okay. You got some game?
I had some game.
Okay. You breaking ankles?
No,
No.
no, no, no.
Well, we want to thank
But
we want to thank you for sharing your testimony with us. I know this is a very big step for you. This is an
uh,
exclusive interview, so thank you for being a blessing to share on Unfiltered Unspoken's platform. We want to thank you for being a contribution to our platform and our journey of bringing more and more testimonies, amazing testimonies. And I hope that you continue your journey to healing, continue to make your weaknesses into strengths, and hopefully the peace through your mom and really coping with that, because I know there's still a connection piece there that God will bring some more sensitivity to that area. Um, just thank you for being transparent and honest. I know that was very hard for you to do, but it's here, and I know it feels good on you right now. So just thank you for sharing your testimony, and hopefully, someone will connect with you so that they can start the journey to healing just as well as you have. And
thank you
keep
for
those
having me.
positive. Absolutely, absolutely. It's definitely it's an honor, CC.
Thank you.
Very this is very big. This is a very big step for you, and I'm glad that we could be Sid and I could be a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you. My pleasure. So we want to thank you for tuning in to Unfiltered Unspoken Podcast. And like I told you before, we are going to continue to share life experiences. What's this, Sid? This our second episode. And we only
Um,
got
2 or 3, something like that.
this our second episode.
Something like
CC number two.
that.
Well,
Okay.
guess what? We are now 95% booked on our
All right.
platform within 2 days. Look at that. Look at that.
All right.
But
All right.
look at here. People ready to share those testimonies. So thank you for tuning into Unfiltered Unspoken Podcast, where we're going to continue to share life experiences. We're going to continue to bring it long as God has allow us. And you can't stop us because we're going to keep bringing it. You have a blessed day.